This is a GIS evening report for Monday, July 22nd, 2024. I am Abigail McIntyre. In the headlines, government to design stimulus package for Carriacou and Petite Martinique business owners affected by Hurricane Beryl. Details to this story and more after the break.
Welcome to the 47th meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government of Carriacou, hosted by your new chairman, the Honorable Deacon Mitchell, July 28th to 30th, St. George, Grenada. The Conference of Heads of Government, comprising the leaders of member states, serves as the highest governing body of the Caribbean community. Carriacou is a multilingual community made up of 20 countries, 15 member states and 5 associate members, and is home to approximately 16 million citizens. Carriacou stands on 4 pillars: economic integration, foreign policy coordination, human and social development, and security. It holds ultimate authority for negotiating treaties on behalf of the community and establishing relationships between the community and international organizations and states. The conference oversees the financial arrangements necessary to cover the community's expenses, though it has assigned this responsibility to the Community Council. Typically, decisions within the conference are reached through unanimous agreement. Join us as we begin the countdown for the 47th regular meeting of Carriacou Heads of Government in Spice Island, Grenada, with incoming chairman, the Honorable Deacon Mitchell, and the whole of Carriacou represented. Let's join the conversations and prepare the shifting perspectives on pertinent and pressing issues that affect our Caribbean community.
Welcome back. Prime Minister the Honorable Deacon Mitchell is assuring business owners in Carriacou and Petite Martinique that his government will find ways to provide support to them in the aftermath of Hurricane Beryl. During a meeting with the business owners on Friday, Prime Minister Mitchell said he will work with the cabinet to design an effective assistance plan.
I don't want to say what is available yet, because part of what we're trying to do is to get the request as to what persons would like to see so that we could then formulate the response. I will say that the government has received some insurance funds to deal with the catastrophe. So in a sense, if I had to say what is available for spending, it would be essentially insurance funds that the government has collected. But obviously the funds have to be applied to almost everything, from fishing to agriculture to infrastructure to business reactivation and to the relief effort. So at least one of the things the Ministry of Finance has been doing is actually looking at where we will get financing from to actually deal with the response for all of those things. But I do appreciate what you said specific to tourism and the business reactivation, so we will know that.
Prime Minister Mitchell also highlighted the importance of building back better. He said there must be consensus among homeowners, contractors, and physical planning to adhere to the existing building code standards. Recognizing that this may be more costly for the average citizen, the Prime Minister expressed his willingness to provide waivers on certain building materials to facilitate the process.
There's really no regulation in place that regulates construction. There is the Planning and Development Authority, there is a building code, and it is really a question of enforcing the building code. But as I've also said, we have to also look at the reality of our lives, which is oftentimes getting a home is an expensive process, it's difficult, and many times people make it how they could. And so sometimes people will build the homes themselves or work with a contractor to build the homes, and there really is no enforcement, no building code, no standards, hence what has happened today. So I'm saying I think we all know that that in the long run is counterproductive, because if we get winds of a certain strength, if we get rainfall of a certain strength, you run the risk of landslides, you run the risk of extensive damage. So the question that we have to be prepared to agree upon is that the enforcement of the building codes and making sure that contractors are trained and then they understand the importance of building, because it's the client's money that will be wasted if you build and then too little breeze pass and everything knocked down. So it will require all of us to agree that if we ask the Planning and Development Authority to enforce the building code, to have inspectors going out, that we don't complain and then say, man, the hurricane strap's too expensive, take it off. Or use substandard steel, or take shortcuts in the construction. But we don't only want to take a negative view of this. We think we can take a positive view by encouraging and incentivizing behaviors, even through our tax policies. So for example, when I said things like the hurricane straps, if we make those things mandatory and say you must put up the hurricane straps, then we should try and incentivize you by saying perhaps we will waive the VAT or the duties on the hurricane straps because we want to make it cheaper so that people could actually use it, right? If we are saying that we need to get a certain type of roofing and a certain type of sheeting, a certain level of thickness, then obviously we also have to look to see how we discourage the cheaper thin ones and incentivize the better ones. But it will take a change in our culture, and I think if there is something that should galvanize us, is this event, to make sure that we build back better and we build back stronger, and that we use it as an opportunity to upskill our tradesmen, or carpenters, or masons, or electricians, or plumbers, to actually think about longer lasting, better quality solutions to what we build in Carriacou, and for that matter in Grenada as well. The truth is, if this eye of the storm had passed over Grenada, large parts of Grenada would have been in exactly the same position as Carriacou and Petite Martinique, especially the houses. A lot of them would have been flattened because it's the same challenge we have in Grenada. So I think the government's role is to lead on this by incentivizing behaviors, by speaking. We're going to meet with the construction industry separately because they will be critical to making sure that we can raise the quality of the construction that takes place both in Grenada and Carriacou and Petite Martinique. If that doesn't happen, well, we kind of will be at the mercy of the contractors, because obviously they're the ones who have to do the building.
The meeting saw a large turnout of business owners who were all eager to voice their concerns.
We all have employees, or most of us have employees, and for the past 2 weeks they have not been working, and then they're coming back to work. How do we have to treat this? Because we're trying to get through to NIS, but it's closed. And basically, that's the first question, how we got to, because we can't have a business, pay our employees and not get any revenue. Number two, a lot of us have mortgages, loans, etc. Can you consider, as Minister of Finance, to freeze this for a certain period of time, so but without the banks repossessing whatever the loans are for?
What is the process and prioritization for building in Carriacou? Is it essential buildings like supermarkets? Is it for housing for people, for low income? What is the prioritization? And how are we going to ensure that buildings are built to withstand hurricanes? What are the regulatory guidelines that are going to be put in place for those things? Because what I understand from the contractors that are looking at our buildings, the roofs are not tend to be built well. So what measures are in place to ensure that these buildings are up to code so we don't have this disaster again?
I'm a boat owner. A number of boats have gone aground as a result of the hurricane. I was speaking to a salvage company from Trinidad, and they gave me a rough estimate of between $40,000 to $50,000 to remove a boat. So I was wondering what kind of assistance would boat owners get from government in terms of taking the boats off the ground.
Minister for Climate Resilience, the Environment and Renewable Energy, the Honorable Karine James, led a team of experts to conduct a damage assessment of the Limle Solar Project. The team included specialists from GRENLEC, the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, and the Caribbean Center for Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency. The Limle project was initiated as the first step towards making Carriacou 100% reliant on renewable energy. However, Hurricane Beryl caused significant setbacks for the project. Leslie Smith, head of the National Ozone Unit, stated that the site is currently unsafe.
There's still the potential for projectiles and missiles if the wind picks up. There's rain. There might be some open circuits as well. We saw evidence of some of the cables being cut. We did some testing on some of the modules and there's active power in them and they connected in strings. So it means that the cumulative voltage can be very dangerous to people here. The best system seems to be intact. There was the evidence of some new equipment odor mixed with electrical burnt odor. So definitely that needs a much deeper dive into determining what the status of the best system is. As Mr. Olsen indicated, and I would want to agree, the electrical seems to be generally intact. The good thing is that all of the inverters seems to be in good standing as well. They were rated at IP67, and so they were designed for these kinds of extreme conditions. And so that is maybe a plus for us moving forward out of this project. The electricals may just need minor examination and repair work. We would be able to salvage quite a number of the modules still. We've done some tests, some preliminary testing on some of them, and they're generating close to expected power. So that's a good sign from the modules. And then the groundwork has to be completed done. So
Smith emphasized that moving forward, the ministry will need to scrutinize the building process and the quality of materials used.
The salient point here is that we have to build back better, stronger, smarter, as Mr. Baker said, and that is key and central to, I think, how we should approach moving forward on this project. This 856 kilowatt peak solar PV system with 400 kilowatt battery storage was designed to offset about 30% of the diesel that is used for generation of electricity in Carriacou. And it was supposed to be realizing a savings of about $30,000 per month. So we are nearing that stage where Carriacou would have had to use much less diesel, spend less, make a bigger impact on the environment in terms of reduction in emissions. And so now, in the redesign and the restructuring and the reconstruction, we will see how we can even increase or improve on that contribution to the energy mix here in Carriacou and the benefits for everyone.
The government of Grenada announces the first phase of fiscal incentives designed to benefit the citizens of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique who were affected by Hurricane Beryl. These will include 100% duty and tax exemptions, including customs service charge, port charges, and stamp duties on food, clothing, small household appliances, linen and bedding items, toiletries, sanitary products, adults and children, and household cleaning supplies imported into the state of Grenada in boxes, barrels, and crates. The items to be imported are not for commercial use or resale and are limited to 2 barrels per household. The removal of duties and taxes will apply to barrels cleared on or after July 22nd, 2024 until December 31st, 2024. The administrative process for clearing the barrels remains the same, except that importers would not be required to pay the usual duties, taxes, and fees. Items will still be valued by the customs officer, and invoices and other documentation are still required. Importers must present at least one of the following forms of identification to have their items cleared: a driver's license, passport, voter's registration card, or NIS card. We take our first break. We will be right back.
Violence is never the answer. Let's talk it out. We need a safe space for our children to grow up, so let us respect each other. You see this little light of mine? I'm gonna let it shine. I'm gonna keep it burning, for the children is looking on. So let's take advantage of the gun amnesty in full effect until July 30th. Remember, the answer is love. A message from the Ministry of National Security. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. I'm gonna keep it burning.
The gun amnesty remains in effect until July 30th. A message from the Ministry of National Security.
Welcome back. Individuals occupying government lands for over 10 years by December 31st will be issued deeds and titles as the government moves to honor its word on the land regularization program launched in May of 2024. Data has so far been collected from over 200 individuals. We hear more in this Karima Lewis report.
The Land Tenure Regularization Program is progressing well towards the deadline of December 31st to issue deeds and titles to individuals who have occupied government land for more than 10 years. Since its launch in May, the program has gathered data for approximately 200 individuals whose land tenure status is anticipated to be approved by year's end. Coordinator Judy-Ann Thomas says the process is moving smoothly.
The project right now is ongoing. It's a smooth process so far, not without challenges, but so far we are able to suffice our challenges. Now we have currently processed in our database system about approximately 200 names that should be available for issuance of deed by December. Currently 38 field officers, 3 senior officers. Currently we have them residing, we have 3 teams, one residing in the St. George area. They will cover the lower part of the St. David's. Then we have another team that is responsible for St. Mark's, St. John and St. Patrick's. And we have a third team responsible for the St. Andrew and the upper part in St. David's. So far they have visited a number of communities.
The Land Tenure Regularization Program aims to elevate the status of 500 residents in the first instance, securing land rights and fostering stability and empowerment within communities. Since May, field officers have been deployed across Grenada, engaging residents and collecting information for the program. Most recently, officers have been active in St. David. Senior Field Officer Julius Andrew reported that residents are receptive towards the initiative.
They are very excited. They are interested in getting the opportunity. They are aware that an opportunity like this could be very, very advantageous for them, in meanings that, okay, if they're not in a position to financially own the land, then they will be out of it. But if government is giving them the assistance, then it will be a plus for them. So I advise them most of the time to take advantage of the opportunity as it arises at this present time.
The program unfolds in 3 phases. The first phase focuses on individuals who have already made payments for the land but have not yet received their deed. The second phase involves people who have been granted permission to occupy land but have not finished their payments. And the third phase addresses illegal occupiers or squatters. Senior Field Officer Michaela Cato outlines what residents can expect as the first phase is implemented.
Because we're within the first phase right now of persons that have completed payment and they're waiting on their deed, what we really require is just confirmation of whether or not you do or do not have the deed. If it is that you don't have the deed, we will assist you in obtaining that deed. We will fill out a form for you, take all of the information that we need, and we will contact you when we're ready to issue those deeds.
Sherma Collins, a resident of Mundelease St. David, conveys the community's joy and anticipation regarding the possibility of receiving land titles in the area.
I am feeling very happy about this because it's showing that something is happening within our government, that they're making something happen for the people of St. David's. I am feeling very, very happy about this. You know, and for the other people that acquire and they're hearing that this is happening, they're feeling very elated. It will be great for the people to own the land in whatever, if they want to do farming or if they want to put on a little house, you know, because a lot of people nowadays just want a little place to put a little house to call their home instead of renting. So I think that will bring a lot of benefits to the people on a whole that is coming to them.
John Joseph, a resident of Berrett St. David, is grateful to the government for simplifying the process of obtaining land titles, which he has been pursuing for many years.
I mean, for several years we've been trying because that's one of our key, you know, in getting the lands. Because there is a lot of development that we want to do on the property, and we can't do it without having a document, right? So I think that's a good initiative, right? Yeah. So That's first and foremost. I mean, at least I think it's a good program, yeah. Because you know there are people who need to get funds and things, and you cannot get funds by having a piece of property that you don't own, you know. So I think it's a good initiative. I tell you, we've been trying for 20 years, up, down, getting the runaround. And here comes another group of people and took a bold step, you know, in order to regularize those lands and things, and which I think is, you know, is very promising about them. I mean, if I had to grade them on a scale from 1 to 10, I'll give them a 9.
For the GIS Evening Report, I am Sherry Noel.
The Grenada Postal Corporation, as of today, Monday, July 22nd, has introduced a new initiative aimed at expediting delivery of essential relief items to people affected by Hurricane Beryl. The initiative, which has been endorsed by the National Disaster Management Agency, will help ease the stress of family members in sending supplies to families in Carriacou and Petite Martinique. We hear more in this Kristen Mitchell report.
The Domestic Rapid Relief Initiative, facilitated by the corporation's Flash Courier Delivery Service, promises to deliver essential and relief items to those in need across Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. The service is exclusively for relief efforts, ensuring that items such as food, water, medical supplies, and other necessities are delivered at a special rate of $25. Director of the Grenada Postal Corporation, Randall Robinson, enlightened the GIS team about the initiative.
The Post knows practically where everybody lives. The Post can deliver because we have been delivering. And so what we thought we ought to do is to get into the gap, because there is relief that is not targeted. There's relief that is given to everybody. You know, you come, you get a bag or whatever as the case might be. But there are family members and friends who want to send specific relief packages to friends and family in Carriacou, or whether it be in the north of the island, St. Mark, St. Patrick, Grenville, wherever it is that they suffered as a result of Beryl, and Petite Martinique, right? So we thought, okay, NADMA is not really set up to facilitate that kind of thing, so we can fall into the breach. And we're doing it more as a humanitarian sort of aid. We believe that we have a responsibility as a statutory body and national company that we get involved and that we try to help when we can. And so for a nominal fee of $25, one can send a package of relief supplies, as the case might be, up to £40. Not just send, but we are, when we touch down in Petite Martinique or we touch down in Carriacou, will deliver.
Chrisanne Samuel, responsible for customer relations at the Postal Corporation, spoke about the delivery schedule.
When it comes to the logistics component, we already have a schedule in place. We have a time at which when we expect persons to drop off. So we commence on Monday, that's the 22nd. We have a cutoff time for the Tuesday, that is at 10 a.m., and we intend to send up to Carriacou and Petite Martinique on Wednesday, and hopefully to deliver on the Thursday as well as the Friday.
Samuel explained that all the fine details have been assessed. The service is available from sub-offices and district offices across the island.
So it's basically you can send from any one of our various locations. We have sub-offices as well as district offices. So you can access this DRR service at our sub-offices, which is Bruce Street, Grand Anse. We have our district offices as well, which is Guaves. We have Guaves, Sates, Victoria, Grenville, and St. David. So any one of these locations, you can send your packages from there. And we take it, we process, we send it up, we ship it up, and then we deliver. So we have a number of employees in Carriacou and Petite Martinique already, and they already know, because this is not new to them, because we are known already for delivering in Carriacou and Petite Martinique. And so it will be easy in terms of the delivery aspect when it comes to us getting the packages there and delivering it to the people that are mostly in need.
The initiative was endorsed by the National Disaster Management Agency, NADMA.
All right, so NADMA is very, very happy that the Postal Corporation can offer the services to the people of Grenada, Carriacou Petite Martinique, because we understand the challenges at this time in terms of moving things around and the transportation issues and having the services of the ferry, but you still need to get things to and from. So we are happy that the Grenada Postal Corporation is implementing this initiative, which will alleviate some of the challenges in terms of getting relief. That's personal items, to the people of Carriacou and Petite Martinique, and even to the north of Grenada if you have to, send items to your relatives and so to the north. It's an opportunity now for you to embrace the services being offered by the Grenada Postal Corporation so that you can get your items to Carriacou, to Petite Martinique, and even to the north of Grenada. So we encourage people to use the services, make the best use of the services, so that we can, make the lives of the people in Carriacou and Petite Martinique even more comfortable as we get stuff to, or get items to family and friends.
Dr. Terence Walters, Disaster Coordinator.
Thank you, Kristen. This is GIS News. We will be right back.
Welcome to the 47th meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government of Carriacou, hosted by your new chairman, the Honorable Deacon Mitchell, July 28th to 30th, St. George, Grenada. The Conference of Heads of Government, comprising the leaders of member states, serves as the highest governing body of the Caribbean community. Carriacou is a multilingual community made up of 20 countries, 15 member states and 5 associate members, and is home to approximately 16 million citizens. Carriacou stands on 4 pillars: economic integration, foreign policy coordination, human and social development, and security. It holds ultimate authority for negotiating treaties on behalf of the community and establishing relationships between the community and international organizations and states. The conference oversees the financial arrangements necessary to cover the community's expenses, though it has assigned this responsibility to the Community Council. Typically, decisions within the conference are reached through unanimous agreement. Join us as we begin the countdown for the 47th regular meeting of Carriacou Heads of Government in Spice Island, Grenada, with incoming chairman, the Honorable Deacon Mitchell, and the whole of Carriacou represented. Let's join the conversations and prepare the shifting perspectives on pertinent and pressing issues that affect our Caribbean community.
Welcome back. The national cleanup campaign continued over the weekend on the sister islands of Carriacou and Petite Martinique. Scores of volunteers traveled via Osprey ferry service to support the efforts led by the Ministry of Mobilization, Implementation and Transformation, with backing from the Ministry of Climate Resilience, the Environment and Renewable Energy, the Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority, and NADMA. Minister for Mobilization, Implementation and Transformation, the Honorable Andy Williams, highlighted that the cleanup also focused on assisting households with installing temporary roofing using tarpaulins.
This week is similar to last week. We have one crew heading to Petite Martinique, and that crew is focused on doing their cleanup. Also, they are focused on rebuilding. Some people need some temporary measures in terms of tarpaulin and so, and they have no one to do it in Petite Martinique. We had a meeting yesterday and they complained about it. So we had one of some carpenters and so going across to Petite Martinique to assist the people in that area. For Carriacou, we started by the Leicester area, right outside the port, and we are going into Lawrencetown and Hillsborough. What we are doing, we are cleaning on the side of the road, and we have one gang in Carriacou, and it's like a power gang, and we just heading from Leicester go up. Because when someone comes to Carriacou from the port, that's the first thing that they see. So you want to make it look better, at the end of the day. So we have everyone here, young, old, male, female. You have women with the spade and the cutlass and so. and we are doing our best to ensure that we bring back a sense of normalcy to the area so that vehicles can traverse in a better way.
Okay. What do you think about the turnout this weekend?
The turnout is always great, and I'm grateful to everyone that really took time from the busy schedule to come and support. We are really grateful for that, and the people of Carriacou and Petite Martinique are grateful also. So it was a proud moment to see when the hospital arrived, the amount of people that came from the boat. We said our word of prayer to bless the day, and then we started the process.
One of the volunteers, Maria Mitchell, called for more support from the mainland to assist the residents of Carriacou in the cleanup efforts.
I'm from Florida. I came in on Wednesday, and I'm here today to help clean up. And I'm encouraging everyone to come and give us a hand because we do need the help. I mean, we have a lot of work to do. And all I can say is all hands on deck, boots on the ground.
Of course, you came up and I guess you're seeing Carriacou the first time since the hurricane. What are your feelings?
Well, this is my second time visiting Carriacou, and I'm still in shock, and for the tremendous houses that's down, the cleanup that need to be done. Yeah.
So you think people need to really come out?
Oh gosh, yes, yes, they really need to come out and give us a hand. Right. Come on down, come on.
The Ministry of Youth and Sports says it has received communication from host country St. Vincent and the Grenadines of the cancellation of the Windward Island School Games, which were scheduled to take place there July 27th to August 3rd. This as a result of the devastating impact of Hurricane Beryl on St. Vincent and the Grenadines on July 1st. As a result of the cancellation of the Games, the Ministry of Youth and Sports has planned the Fill the Void event as a substitute for the Games to engage the athletes who have been training. Damian Castle, Assistant Coordinator for Sports, says the event has been organized to give the athletes an opportunity to still compete.
That event is scheduled for Wednesday, the 24th of July. The event is called Fill the Void. The coaches, along with the coordinator and myself, we met and we decided to put on that event because only last week we received word of the cancellation of the Windward Island Games. So, taking into consideration that we had athletes in training, we decided, okay, we'll put on that Fill the Void, which would serve as an appreciation, small competition for the athletes who were already in training in preparation for the Games.
Fill the Void will begin at 12 noon and will feature 3 sporting disciplines. Mr. Castle highlights the disciplines and the format that will guide the competition.
Activity starts at 12 noon. We will basically be featuring basketball, volleyball, and netball. So the volleyball would be 4 versus 4, the basketball 3 versus 3, and the netball would be fast 5. And all of these competition would be, the winners would be awarded cash prizes.
The Ministry of Youth and Sports wants everyone to come out and support this event to create an atmosphere of excitement as our under-20 athletes display their skills in netball, basketball and volleyball at the Carriacou Hard Court from 12 noon on Wednesday, July 24th, 2024. Grenada successfully hosted and won the Games last year, which featured under-20 students from Dominica, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, and St. Lucia in track and field, football, volleyball, netball, and basketball. And this story brings us to the end of the GIS Evening Report for today, Monday, July 22nd, 2024. To recap the top story, government to design stimulus package for Carriacou and Petite Martinique business owners affected by Hurricane Beryl. On behalf of the entire news team here at the Government Information Service, I am Abigail McIntyre. Thank you for joining us.